Pension Program. Welcome everyone to the VFP Volunteer Firefighter Pension Program. I'm Claire Krajcik. I'm the program assistant for this program, and I've been with the program for 1 year, so I know a lot of you from our communications last year. And joining me also today is our new program manager, Snow Staples. And she comes to the program. She's previously with DOLA and in other capacities, and is now the program manager with us.
Hi, everyone.
All right, so just as an overview, pension plans for volunteer firefighters were established by the Volunteer Firefighter Pension Act over 60 years ago as a way to attract volunteers. Generally, pension benefits are available for volunteers who have served for more than 20 years as volunteers and who meet annual training requirements. And there's some extenuating circumstances for people who have served for fewer years. Both DOLA and FPPA have a role in managing the program. Around $4 million of state funds are contributed annually to just over 200 volunteer fire departments. So the state match calculation depends on the normal retirement benefit offered by your department or district. For benefit levels of $300 or less, the state contribution equals 90% of the local contribution, capped by 1/2 mil on the previous net assessed value. And then for monthly benefits of $301 or more, the calculation takes into account the actuarially required local contribution at a $300 benefit level and compares it to the state's contribution in a historic period, so between 1998 and 2001. Again, the state contribution cannot exceed 1/2 mil on the previous net assessed value. So by now, most of you are familiar with the Division of Local Government's portals. One single login can be used to access e-filing, grants, and formulaic programs like VFP. If you don't see VFP on your main menu of the formulaic portal, you will have to click the link that says request access to your organization. We suggest that each fire district have one responsible administrator who manages the application, and the rest of the contacts have reports-only access in order to receive emails from us. On this slide, there are a few links that you may want to bookmark. It's easy to navigate to the formulaic portal from the account login page, the link for which is located on the top bar of any DOLA website. Here I've linked two how-to guides. The first describes the intricacies of the application process, and the second has a visual illustration of the steps to apply. We'll go over the state match for $301 or more in an upcoming slide. Before you apply, we suggest that you gather all the necessary documentation, and you can always save your application and come back to it. Application window opens this coming Monday, but since Monday is a state holiday, if you need any support on the app or it isn't displaying as expected, please let us know and we'll follow up on Tuesday or later in the week. There are 2 levels of review, program assistant and program manager. As the program assistant, I'm available to answer any questions you may have about the application or the necessary documentation. So for priority review, please complete your application before October 31st, but we're able to review applications on a rolling basis until the program year ends in May 2026. To ensure your funding is dispersed before the end of the year, please complete or resubmit your application edits as soon as practicable. Slide is just an overview of our web application requirements. I'll preface the discussion by mentioning that if you ever encounter issues with the application and continuing on, scroll down to the bottom of the window and click Save, and that usually will help make the next step available. So sections A and B are pretty self-explanatory. Please note you should enter the monthly benefit level as of January 1st, 2024. If your benefit level changed mid-year last year, you'll still report the value as current as of January 1st. We'll go into the more details about sections C and D on later slides. State and local contributions. So the application is always looking for information from the previous calendar year. And the local contribution is the amount of tax levied, appropriated, and contributed by the municipality or district in that previous year. You are statutorily allowed to levy a tax of not more than 1 mil on the taxable property in the area to fund the pension plans. The state match calculation is based on qualifying local tax contributions, and other revenue like gifts is not included in the state calculation. And state contribution from 2024 is entered in field D4. If you get an orange warning, that number doesn't match what we have on record, but you can still proceed with the application, and we'll return the application to you if any corrections are needed. So we verify local and state contributions from your Office of the State Auditor accepted audit or audit exemption. We also gather information directly from FPPA for FPPA affiliated pensions. In addition, we suggest that you upload another source of documentation for local contribution. And this is really helpful to us, especially if the audit process is delayed. Proof of this can include a pension fund statement or a year's worth of bank statements. We generally don't accept general ledger reports or images of cleared checks as the sole source of verification, but in concert with an audit or an FPPA statement, this will work. If you have any questions about that, please reach out to me and I can help guide you. So again, if your benefit level exceeds $300 a month, the calculation is considered in our verbiage a B calculation, and that compares the ARC, or actuarially required contribution, to fund a $300 a month benefit level to what the state contributed to the fund in one of the years between 1998 and 2001. So that's the cap, the statutory cap on the amount that we contribute in the case that you are providing your volunteers with a higher benefit level. The actuarial study is required just so that we can ensure that the fund is actuarially sound. So a negative ARC value kind of indicates that there's a surplus to meet future obligations at that $300 a month benefit level. But this doesn't necessarily mean that higher benefit levels plans are overfunded. And if your ARC is negative, for simplicity, you can enter 0 on the application and we'll accept that. So acceptable documentation includes either a letter from your actuary or a copy of your actuarial study. We do not accept the GASB statement 68, I believe it's called. And 2023 or 2024 actuarial studies will be accepted on the 2025 application. In this slide, there's some screenshots of where to find your ARC on various companies' reports. For GRS, the actuary that FPPA works with, the value is found on Table 1, line 7, total annual calculated contribution. And please make sure to select the value from the second column for the $300 a month benefit level. On the right-hand side of the slide is the label for the value to include from other companies' reports. Minimum recommended contribution or normal cost plus 20 years of payoff of unfunded actuarial liability. So if you have any questions about your joint or multi-jurisdictional funds, these are pretty extenuating circumstances, so please reach out to us and we can help you, guide you in how to submit the application. All right, I'm going to run through some screenshots of the application just so that you can get a sense of what it looks like. In section A, you'll have to select your name from the drop-down list highlighted below. And once you do that, scroll down to the bottom of the screen to hit save. After that, the add funding button will turn from a gray color to blue, and then you can click that button to continue. To add fund information, select the pension fund you are associated with and fill out section B. If it's a joint fund, you'll need to do this for both entities. B3 is the field where you enter the maximum monthly benefit. Section 3 populates if your benefit is over $301. Enter the ARC and save the application. Total ARC is only necessary for joint funds. In this case, enter the combined amount of each participating fire department's share of the ARC. Once you enter the ARC, click Save, and then you'll be able to upload your actuarial study or letter. Next, fill out the local contribution section and upload your local contribution proof as available. Field D2 is only required for joint pensions. Other revenues can be reported in D3, but this does not affect the state contribution amount. It only looks at D1. Finally, enter your 2024 state contribution in D4. When you're ready to submit your application, certify it by clicking the checkbox, then click Submit Application. Errors on suspended applications. In some certain cases, we'll send the application back to you for corrections or additional documentation. Note that there's a known error on the portal, which does not allow you to upload more than one revised document. So if you need to add multiple documents, please email them to me. Suspended applications are back in your court and we can't see them until you resubmit. So if for whatever reason you're having trouble saving and resubmitting, please just reach out to us and we can help out. On the right-hand side here, it shows the various filing statuses that may be applicable to your application. Payment scheduled or funding approved indicates that you're completely done with the process. And then if your application is either partially completed or suspended, you'll have to click on the edit button and then make sure to save and submit it in order for it to be available to us. And submitted applications are in the review queue. At any point, you can sign onto the portal and verify the status of your application. Common reasons applications are suspended. The first one is insufficient documentation, like if you are providing a report from the wrong year or whatever you've uploaded for the actuarial study is not what we're looking for, the time period, or it's the GASB statement instead. Second, the information like the monthly benefit or the contributions are reported for an out-of-date period. And finally, you may have entered a positive ARC value when it is negative on your study. On the GRS reports, please be sure to pull the number from the second column for the $300 a month benefit level. And last year I sent a lot of emails to clarify edits, but this year I'm going to be relying more on the automated communication from the portal as to not clog up your email inboxes. But as always, please feel free to reach out if you need any help. We'll provide our phone number and email on any notes that we send back to you on the portal. This slide goes through the reasons why your state match might change. And there's three main reasons. First, if your monthly benefit level now exceeds $300 a month, your match will be calculated under the BCalc statute. And then second, if your ARC value has increased beyond the benefit or the level that your fund received from the state during one of the years between 1998 and 2001, your state match might change this year. And then finally, if your jurisdiction's tax assessment values changed significantly last year, the net assessed value cap could come into play. And that kind of covers the application, and I'm available to answer any questions or any stump your questions. We'll punt over to Becky Sod, who's also on the call, who you might know from years past.
And you, Claire, would you be able to share the whole presentation um with us, or is that going to be put in a certain spot that I can? I'm new, so I'm Nancy from Poudre Fire Authority. Nice to meet you all. So I'm gonna need a little more attention, but would I be able to get a hold of that?
Absolutely, yeah. We're going to send a follow-up email with the slides and
Okay,
then also a link to the presentation, and it will be available on the website as well.
perfect. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Claire, this is Joel from Livermore Fire. Can you hear me? You said one person should be the primary lead, but if maybe a couple people are working on it, how should we do that? Okay.
It will only be viewable from the person who initiates the application's account. If multiple people need to take a look at it, we prefer you don't share your credentials between people, but we understand that that's just the reality of working together as a team. So uh, uh, the only one person can submit the application, so that would be the responsible administrator. And it's not a hard and fast rule that one person needs to be selected from each department. So
Got it. Thanks.
Claire, this is Gio with the town of Otis. In years past, the town of Otis contributes a set amount of dollars to the fireman's pension. And we have done our side of things, but the volunteer firefighters have a set person that does their side of things. Should the town not be doing that? Because I don't have all the information that you are asking for.
okay, so is it the town that funds the pension, like you distribute funds into the pension account?
Yes.
I think that's why we have you set up as the applicant.
Okay.
We can look into changing that and setting the district up with an account this year if that is easier or better for you. But as of now, we have you in our accounting system, so we can talk offline about how to proceed there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
There is a question in the chat, and we can definitely work with Kdo Chef one-on-one, like a few scenarios of what that would look like. And if you have an actuarial study, they could also do that for you. We can definitely follow up offline.
And you said the links open September 1st?
Yes, this coming Monday. The system's supposed to automatically provide open up the application, but in years past we found that there is a little lag, and sometimes we have to reach out to IT. So if you don't see it on Monday, just know that we'll be working on it when we get back to the office on Tuesday.
Okay. And it's all has to be in by October 31st.
Yeah, that's the preferred deadline.
Okay.
Hi, Claire. This is Melanie over at Louisville Fire. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. And I'm kind of in the same situation as Nancy, being new and coming into this. And I'm just wondering, is there another time maybe we could even do a call with other new people, kind of just to get a little bit more
background and basic stuff, knowledge, I guess, for us that are new versus, people have done it over and over and are just kind of catching up on what's, new and updated.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to set something up. If you just want to send me an email, I can keep tabs on who would be interested in a little bit more information.
That's great. I will send you an email today. Thank you so much.
Sure,
Yes,
Melanie.
thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, I would be interested as well. Patty is still here. However, she's got her, new position, and so any information that I can find out on my own would be fabulous. Thank you. I'll email you as well.
Thanks. I know this year there are a few new districts who have not participated in the program before and are just setting up funds. So if any of you guys have any questions, we can address those as well, and potentially also connect you with our contacts over at FPPA for information about how to get associated with them and pool in with the resources over there. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions. But as you know, I'm always available. Just give me a call if you're working through something as you start the application and you're confused or need help.